Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, there lived a good and gentle girl. Her mother, who loved her dearly, fell ill one winter and, before dying, whispered, "Dear child, be good and pious, and God will always be with you." She was buried beneath a linden tree in the garden, and the girl visited the grave often, weeping, praying, and keeping her mother's memory alive. But peace didn't last long. Her father, a practical man but not a wise one, remarried. The new wife brought with her two daughters, proud, cruel, and spoiled. They had silken shoes and sharp tongues, and they despised their new stepsister, who wore nothing finer than a rough gray frock and wooden shoes. They didn't call her by her name anymore. They called her Cinderella, because she always sat by the hearth, covered in ashes. She did the hardest work in the house, cleaning, cooking, fetching water, all while they mocked her. But she never complained. Every evening, she would sneak to her mother's grave beneath the linden tree, where she would cry and pray. And the birds, oh yes, the birds would gather in the branches above her, as if listening. One day, the king announced a grand festival. It would last 3 days, and every young woman in the kingdom was invited. His son, the prince, would choose a bride. The stepsisters shrieked with excitement. They demanded fine gowns, ribbons, gloves. Cinderella helped them dress, braid their hair, and fasten their shoes, but when she asked if she could go, they laughed. "You, in rags? You'd only embarrass us." When they left, Cinderella went to her mother's grave and cried, "Shake the tree, gentle dove, let fall a gown as white as love." The birds heard her, and from the branches came a shimmer, a dress of gold and silver, and tiny embroidered shoes. Cinderella dressed quickly and ran to the festival. No one recognized her, not even her stepsisters. The prince, however, noticed her instantly. He didn't dance with anyone else, and when the night ended, she slipped away before he could ask her name. This happened again the second night, and again she vanished. But on the third night, the prince laid a trap. He had the stair coated with pitch. This time, as Cinderella fled, one of her golden slippers stuck to the step. The prince took it gently in his hands. He would search the kingdom, only the woman whose foot fit the slipper would be his bride. Days passed. The prince came to Cinderella's house. The eldest stepsister tried first. She couldn't fit the shoe, but her mother handed her a knife and whispered, "Cut off your toe. When you're queen, you won't need to walk." She did. She forced her bloody foot into the shoe and smiled through the pain. But as the prince rode off with her, 2 birds from the linden tree called out, "Turn and peep, O noble prince, the shoe is full of blood and hints. She is not your destined bride, the true one still back inside." He turned around. The second stepsister tried next. Her heel was too wide, but again, the mother offered a knife. "Cut off your heel. You won't need it in the palace." She did. And again the birds warned him. Finally, the prince asked, "Is there no other young woman in this house?" The father, embarrassed, said, "Well, there is one more, but she's only a kitchen maid." Cinderella was called. She washed her face and hands and came forward. She sat down, and when she slipped her foot into the shoe, it fit perfectly. And then, from the trees, the birds sang again. One flew down and placed itself on Cinderella's shoulder. The prince knew. He married her, and at the wedding, the stepsisters tried to win her favor. But the birds had not forgotten. As they approached, one bird pecked out the left eye of one sister, the other bird the right eye of the other, just as grim as the tale itself. And so, Cinderella, patient, kind, and faithful, rose from the ashes, not with magic, but with courage, grief, and grace. Her story reminds us the gentle are not weak, and truth, though buried under dust and cinders, always finds its way to the light. The end.